Have you ever had to put a spoiled brat in their place? My wealthy stepson thought he could get away with bullying kids at his new public school until I taught him what real consequences looked like. When I married Derek's father, 16-year-old Derek had been kicked out of 3 private schools for behavioral issues. His dad always bailed him out with donations and lawyer calls. Derek bragged about how much money his family had and looked down on kids who couldn't afford designer clothes or the latest phones. He'd throw expensive items away just to show off. Once he bought a $200 pair of shoes, wore them once, then tossed them in the trash because they were too common. At his new school, Derek targeted a kid named Marcus, whose family was struggling financially. Marcus wore the same 3 shirts in rotation and brought lunch in brown bags. Derek would knock Marcus's lunch on the floor, call him charity case, and film TikToks mocking his clothes. He thought it was hilarious. When other kids tried to defend Marcus, Derek would threaten to have his dad sue their families or get their parents fired. He'd done it before at previous schools. Derek's father always sided with him, claiming other kids were jealous of Derek's success and privilege. But Derek made one crucial mistake. He didn't know I'd grown up in foster care and understood what it felt like to be powerless. I also didn't know that Marcus was the son of my coworker Janet, who'd been struggling since her husband's cancer diagnosis. When Janet mentioned her son was being bullied by some rich kid, I put the pieces together. That night, I had a conversation with Derek about his behavior. He laughed and said I couldn't touch him because his dad would always protect him. "Watch me," I said. The next day, I volunteered to chaperone the school's college prep trip to the local community college. Derek was required to attend. At the college, I arranged for Derek to meet with a financial aid counselor who explained how students pay for college without family money. Then I took him to the campus food bank where students could get free groceries. Derek was shocked that college kids needed help with basic necessities. Our final stop was the work-study program office, where students earned money for tuition by doing campus jobs like cleaning and food service. Derek was horrified. "I'd never do that kind of work," he said loudly. That's when I introduced him to the program coordinator, Marcus's older brother, who was working his way through college after their dad got sick. Marcus's brother looked Derek in the eye and said, "You're the kid who's been bullying my little brother." Derek tried to act tough, but he was surrounded by college students who'd heard about his behavior. One student said, "Your money won't help you here. We all work for what we have." Derek realized his wealth meant nothing in this environment. These students respected hard work, not trust funds. On the bus ride back, Derek was quiet. Other kids started talking about their part-time jobs and how they saved money for college. Derek had never worked a day in his life and suddenly felt completely out of place. The next week at school, Derek stopped bullying Marcus. He even apologized, though it was clearly forced. But the real change came when Derek's father lost a major lawsuit and their family faced serious financial problems. Suddenly, Derek learned what it meant to worry about money. His designer clothes and expensive gadgets disappeared. By senior year, Derek was working part-time at a grocery store and riding the bus to school like everyone else. Sometimes entitled kids need to experience the real world to understand their privilege.